Hey everybody, Can-Am Commander 2014 800. Have you seen the price they want for those high beam, low beam switches? So my Can-Am, the switch hasn't worked for probably 2 or 3 years. So let's head over to the machine. I'll show you guys how to take that out. We're gonna take the switch apart because I'm cheap. I'm sure we can fix this. I'm sure we can. Come on. And this is my Super Doodle Ash, commonly referred to as ash hole. What? All right, everybody, so the high beam switch is located on this Can-Am Commander right here. And as we can see, so I'll turn the ignition on, lights on. High beam indicator is over here in the dash, which does illuminate if you see, but if I can sit here flicking this for an hour or so, all there is it torques over on this side here, it torques here, and a couple of retainers on each side here and here. So now that's probably the easiest thing you've ever seen on this channel. Our high-low switch is right here. All right, so we got that undone. There's these little tabs that you press down on, and you push down on the top, and out comes our switch. All right, so we're back at the bench. We're going to be taking this apart. As you can see, there are a number of wires in the back, and a number of these are not used because these are universal multifunction switches. Now I could go ahead and replace this switch with an aftermarket switch I find online or whatever, but I kind of want to keep, I want to keep the lights and the OEM look to it. I like this. All right, so the workbench is a little bit of a mess. Sorry guys, I'm working on a television right now, so let's open this up and let's see what we got here. So we're going to start with trying to pop off, see if we can pop the rocker portion of the switch off nice and gentle. Yeah, that was super easy. That popped off, no problem whatsoever. And as you guys can see inside, so we have the light bulbs. And that's what I was talking about that I really wanted to keep, was those light bulbs. Now let's figure out how we can open this guy up. I'm sure there's some way to open this. Okay, so check this out. So I just put a screwdriver in here like this. I just flipped this little piece up. And because it's spring loaded, it automatically popped open on that side. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I popped it open. Now because it's spring loaded, be very, very careful. And we're just going to open it up like so and drop it. Now we can see what is failing on it. Oh, what a cool design. Okay, right away, first thing I notice when I take it apart is a burnt smell. I can really smell it. And if you look here, so we did have some arcing in between the base of the switch down there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean off these contacts down at the bottom here because there is some black carbon crap on there. And we're going to do the same thing on this side here. We're just going to clean that up just real quickly with some, I don't know, some electrical cleaner of some type. All right, so I got a piece of 200 grit sandpaper here. I'm just going to sand this up lightly. And we'll do the same thing with the base down there. That scoring is pretty deep into that metal. I imagine that's pretty high amperage. It goes through those little lamps for a little tiny switch like this. All right, we have that pretty clean. Now, we've got to put our springs back in here that we just lost. Okay, so springs are back in. I'm going to add a bit of dielectric grease to that. We'll put some on the rocker. And we'll add a little here as well. All right, so this piece goes back in like so. I don't remember which way this goes now, which is very inconvenient. Oh, it can only go in the one way. It can only go in like this. There we go. She is back together. Back together. Still functioning. That's great. Now I don't know which way this goes on, up or down. I forget. All right, so here's my meter. I put it on horseshoe beepy thingy. And it was this side here, I believe, was the test side. Yeah, so there you go. And we're just going to test the switch. And it is off. Open circuit. And back on. There we go. On. Off. So I know that now my cap's going to go this way. Okay, so we'll carefully snap this back together. All right, let's go try this in the machine. All right, so we're back. I'm gonna pop this back into place here. Just pushes back through from the outside like it did before. There we go, and we're gonna plug in our switch. Man, those are hard to get in and out of there, I tell you. Okay, and the switch is in. All right, so let's give it a try. So a couple things to note here. I don't have the backlighting that I think I had before. I don't know if you guys can see the backlighting there. And for some reason, this plugged in correctly. Oh, I have high beams now, but not, so it is, now it's intermittent. Yeah, there we go, I got high beams. You can see the light over here, guys, can you see? So right here, I have high beams off, high beams on, but nothing. Back on. Oh, on. Okay, well, it's a lot better than it was before. So, okay, let's take this back apart. And I'm sure I had backlighting before. I don't know if I did something wrong inside. I'm going to go back to the bench with it. All right, so I found out something pretty cool, that when you remove these springs that are inside of here, there's actual little contacts right here, these little guys. And they sit in the base, and that's what pulls the power from these two pins. It sends the power up the spring and then contacts up here on these wires, there and there. And that's how the light lights. So I probably did not have those in properly. And the reason for the high beams not working again and only working intermittently, it was already overheated. So I'm not making great contact. It is just touching is what I'm guessing. And you can see there's also a little bit of carbon scoring right there where it rocks on that center pin right there, which supplies the power to the headlights. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and bend this pin here up a little bit more so that it makes a bit tighter contact, because this is spring loaded, so that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to bend this up just a touch. I've gone ahead and I've cleaned up these little nubs here, these little ends. I'm going to slide those back into place where they belong. Get this all back together and hope for the best. All right, so this is becoming really confusing. I kept putting it back together and I'm wondering why I was only having one LED that was lighting up. So I have an LED tester here. And if I test this LED here, as you can see, it does its blink, and then it tells me that it is a diode, it's fine. And then when I switch it over to the other LED that's inside there, like so, and then I test this LED, this one is damaged. So no bueno, no good, damaged component. That's why I'm only getting illumination on the one side. So I must have only had illumination on the one side to start off with. I'm really not sure. So let's get this back together. I don't think I caused any damage. I know my LED at the bottom is the good one. Okay, update. LEDs are not 12 volts. I know that. They operate anywhere between 2.5 volts up to 5 volts, depending on the color. And what happens when you plug the switch in upside down and don't pay attention, you run 12 volts into the light circuit and you pop the LED. So I guess when the first time I plugged it in upside down, I popped it. And when I turned it around, one was out. And then I flipped it around again when I just swapped it over and I popped the other LED. So now I have no backlighting whatsoever. So let's get this high beam switch back together. And this do-it-yourself is turning into a, I should have bought one. Okay, so we got the switch back together. I have it assembled without the springs because the LEDs don't work in it. So, damn it. You know, that sucks, but let's put this in and we'll give it a shot. All right, so if you guys are wondering how I made the mistake of plugging in it upside down, it was just more or less neglect, not paying attention. The switch itself is indexed. It has this little lever on the bottom. There's only the one side that has it, and it goes at the bottom of here, like so. So let's try and I'm going to try the switch like this first, just to make sure. Of course, I have no lighting because those are burnt. And let's see if I have high beams now. And I do have high beams. Look at that, on, off, beautiful. High beams are on, high beams are off, high beams are on. So it looks like bending that tab actually did the trick. So bending that little tab so that it makes better contact, so that you don't get that arc across, because I'm assuming it's pretty high amperages going through there, because those are halogen high beams. So like I said, it's really unfortunate about the actual LEDs in that switch, but I can find LEDs. I got LEDs all over the place and I can replace them. It's just, you know, do I want to? Is it really that much of a big deal? Probably not. Well, the plot really thickens with this switch. So what was going to be a really simple video is now ending up to be some kind of electronics show. So what I did, I made the mistake. I was the one that fried the LEDs by not knowing that these little guys right here, these are actually resistors which drop the voltage. So via this spring, actually there's two different springs. You're going to see there's a short spring and a long spring, short and a long. So this goes on the positive side of the LED. Now, to find out which side's the positive side of the LED, because I popped them out by accident. So the only reason why I found out these were resistors is I went ahead and I put one of these little guys on the tester, like so, and you can see it is a resistor. So these little switches are a feat of engineering. These are pretty cool. I can see why now they're so expensive. So, yeah, so I've gone ahead, I've damaged my switch. I'm going to show you guys the circuit right here. This is the basic circuit. Now this is a 500 and I think it was 0.587 kilo ohms. And if you do this equation right here, you figure out that the LED lamp is only getting said voltage. So now that you've learned that, and I had to Google that, we still end up with a switch with no lighting. Yeah. Now I have high beams. Now I can go ahead and show you guys other stuff I wanted to show you on the channel. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.